I know that you know that I know that you know that this is Dramascripted Saturday, where we go over the most notable things that happened in the past week of wrestling. And I know that you also know that I know that we start off every Dramascripted with the ratings, and we have Raw with 1.7 million. We have NXT 2.0 with 582,000, and we have AEW with 942,100,000. So let's go right into it. The news buzzing around this week. Starting, well, it was rumored to start for next Monday the 18th, but it may be pushed back. But WWE is going back to TV 14 rating. So what this means is mostly what I take from it is pretty much we're going to get blood back, outside of premium events. And I'm not talking about, accidental blood that we see from the mouth when someone gets kicked in the teeth to her. I'm talking about blading on the forehead, blood from a chair shot or a ring post or something like that. Or maybe like a backstage segment where someone gets jumped or ambushed and then there's blood. Looks like they're bringing, that's what I'm saying. I think that it's their rating is there. I think they're bringing blood back. Now they could 14, they could say shit, and then they could go back to saying ass and asshole. I really don't expect much because the powers that be, which is Vincent Kenny McMahon, is still in charge of booking. So I'm really not. I don't see any major changes. Probably just vulgar, more vocabulary and blood. I don't think that's what the show really needs. The show needs, in my opinion, the show needs more consistency and more build. And when they renew the contract to go back on USA, drop the third hour, dude. Like, we've been screaming for years that we don't want the third hour. It just stretches the stove. But money is money. And moving on to some other news, there's no plans on bringing back the women's tag division ever since Naomi and Sasha Banks walked off about like a month and a half ago. There have been no plans for those titles. And also there's been no female tag matches on the main roster. So I think WWE is just going to do what they always do. Keep no women's tag teams off of the air for like a year till we magically forget that the women's tag team belts ever existed, and they're gonna go off on their merry way like this never happened. It's WWE always does this, but it was expected because WWE really doesn't care about tag teams unless the tag team itself is making them a shit ton of money. WWE can only keep 2 to 3 main tag teams in rotation at one time. So what makes you think that they will, if they didn't carry it on a men's division standpoint, where they can only keep mainly 3 tag teams in rotation? What makes you think that they would have done it on the women's standpoint? They could barely keep 2. I mean, it was what? It was Sasha Banks and Bayley, and it was the Iconics. That was the main 2, right? Throughout the whole thing. Then the Iconics got released, and then it was still Sasha Banks' Bayley, and then they split, and then that's when things started getting weird. That's when they started making makeshift handcraft tag teams that only lasted like 3 weeks. I mean, from what, January to June, Rhea Ripley was in like 3 tag teams. So WWE does not, if they're not going to focus it on the men's, they're definitely going to pay less attention to it on the women. So as for now, the last women tag champs are Naomi and Sasha Banks, as both their titles are vacant. So moving on, in other news about Sasha Banks, She is reportedly charging 30K for any appearances, and for some reason, the internet's going crazy because they're saying that oh, Sasha Banks is charging 30K, but usually like legends like HBK, Ric Flair, and such they charge 30K. Everyone's saying that that's too high, and I'm like, well, first off, that's news to me that legends like HBK and everything were charging 30K. I feel like that even for them that's too low. And second of all, people that saying that she's not worth it, I mean, she's what? She's a two-time WWE Women's Champion, six-time Women's Champion. Won the female battle royal. Zen Mandalorian. She's in a Disney show, and she's charging 30K for an appearance. She's in a main Disney show. Her character is still alive, and is charging 30K. That's actually pretty. If there's any like free book, I would book her. Like that's actually pretty good to get some attraction to whatever show you're hosting. That's pretty good. I don't know what the uproar is about, or it's too much. Just because the other legends charge 30. You got to remember the other no offense to the legends. They only did wrestling. Sasha's doing a lot more with the Mandalorian thing. She's expanding into acting. So now that she's I think she got released, so they can't do anything for 3 months. So like in another 2.5 months, she's free to do whatever the fuck she wants. So I'm pretty sure she's just gonna either continue with wrestling or she's gonna just go into more acting. So, and plus they gotta eat too. Like they don't like being an independent contractor. After you get released from the contract, that contract is up. There's no outside of royalties. There's no paycheck every week or every 2 weeks, like us normal people that go to a day-to-day job. So they gotta eat too, and their bills got bills to pay too. So shout out to Sasha Banks. I'm all for it. Go get your money, girl. I wish you all the best in your future success, and I'm looking forward to what you do in the future. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. I just want to touch on one thing about Austin Theory, or now Theory. There's been a lot of hate on Theory, and like I get it. Like I get like no one really likes him, but if you're actively hating him and you're actively complaining about him on the internet, that means he's doing his job right, because he is the heel and his job is to get a reaction out of us fans. And I see you guys complaining a lot about Theory, which means he's doing his job right, because if he was a heel and I was like a horrible heel and he got zero reaction, I don't think he would be in the spot that he's in. And take a look at all his selfies. They all get 500 over 5,000K reactions, definitely over 2,000K reactions. So it's working. I can agree that his persona is bad. His charisma is okay. It's only going to get better, because as he reminds us on every freaking wrestling show, he is only 24 years old. He's only what? Counting his NXT, he's only 3 years in the business. So he's only going, if he cares, and I think he's going to take this out, because this is no joke. Like him being the Money in the Briefcase holder and possibly cashing in on SummerSlam, like this is a big thing. So like I think he's going to take the opportunity to get better with his craft. But like he keeps telling us, like he is only 24. So he is only going to get better with time. That's up to him if he works on his craft, but I'm pretty sure he's going to do that. But yeah, that's going to wrap this up for this week's Dramascripted Saturday. I was happy I was able to get it out on a Saturday. like I always try to do every Saturday. If you like what you have witnessed, please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. And until next Saturday, I'm Dante, aka Game Team Feet of All Games, and I'm out of here. Later, and peace. Be safe, everyone.